Ah, another newcomer. Delightful. What exactly can I do for you? What keen ears you have. You heard us discussing a private matter from way over there. Impressive. Perhaps you can put that inquisitive nature to good use. A newcomer, much like you, is stirring up trouble here in Lillandril. A member of the Mages Guild murdered a sapiarch, but now the murderer's friend is railing against the conviction, loudly. Poke some sense into her, would you? She might listen to another guest. You'll find her outside the Fighters Guild.
What do you want?
Stay strong, Emil. I'll get you out of this.
Secure the prisoner in the Fighters Guild. Off you go.
You're an adventurer, aren't you? Please, you have to help me. The sapiarchs accused my best friend of a murder he didn't commit. They won't even consider the possibility that he's innocent. Another sapiarch named Haladon. Emil arrived at the gates of Lillandril, carrying Haladon's body, and confessed to the crime. But he seemed shocked, confused. I know Emil better than anyone. He's not capable of something like this. I swear it. He's a pacifist, for Mara's sake. The sapiarch's investigation was a joke. They just took Emil at his word and handed down the sentence. Of course, the local guild magister rolled over like she always does. Coward. Please, I need your help. The sapiarchs say Emil confessed to murdering Haladon, but he'd never murder anyone. He loved Haladon. I don't know if he's confused or disoriented, but I do know he wouldn't do it. Please, talk to Emil. Convince him to recant his confession. Emil and I are both members of the Mages Guild chapter here in Lillandril, and students of the guild's chief diplomat, Kalawende. As for our relationship, Emil is my dearest friend. Has been since we were both in diapers. I don't know if he'll listen to anyone, but I don't have a choice. The Sapiarchs and Mages Guild consider the matter settled, and they've forbidden me from speaking to Emil further. No one has forbidden you to speak to him. You can still reach him. An order of high elf scholars and mages. They walk the halls of power here in Somerset, observing and advising. Of course, there's a thin line between advising and ruling by proxy. They're not over fond of us guild mages. They think we're reckless. To the Sapiarchs, stepping in puddles is reckless. Not folding your linens is reckless. By their standards, my 90-year-old grandmother is wild as a foal in springtime. No, the guild values new ideas, novel approaches, but it's far from reckless. He and Emil were very close. If you'd asked me before all this happened, I'd have wagered that one or the other was shopping for a ring of Mara. They had common interests, but more than that, they had common values. Gods, what a tragedy. Restoration magic, wards against disease and curses, that sort of thing. They'd been researching ways to prevent lycanthropy, vampirism, and other afflictions. You see, the Emil I know dedicated his life to healing people, not murdering them. Absolutely not. Emil's gentle as a lamb, and Haladon didn't have a conniving bone in his body. The tension between the guild and the Sapiarchs weighed on them a bit, but not so much that it would drive them apart. Like I said, Emil is innocent.
If you insist on involving yourself in some vain investigatory charade, I won't stop you, but tread carefully. The Sapiarchs have little tolerance for amateur detectives. Who are you? Hand of Auriel, what has Queen Irene wrought? I am Lillandril, Sapiarch Master of Psychocartography, the mapping of orbic thought forms and dream phenomena. I also find myself saddled with the role of cultural attaché. I interact with all manner of strange and uncultured individuals, but yes, I maintain relations between my order and the Mages Guild's new arrivals. A trying enterprise. Please, if only for my sake, keep your business here peaceable, all right?
At least my rank as Hall Steward garners some respect. Or perhaps it's my blade which keeps the High Elves in line. Feel free to tell these Mer what guild you belong to. Invoke some fear. It's better than contempt.
I doubt you can even lift the shields I offer, but the guild has requested I stop refusing customers.
I don't have anything to say to you or anyone else. Please, go. Yes. She's wrong. What? No, no! They already did an investigation. I murdered Halidon. It was me. Why are you inserting yourself into matters that don't concern you? I murdered a Sapiarch. I accept responsibility and my punishment. Go away. I don't want your help.
You there? Why are you interrogating Emil? I am Kalawende, Chief Diplomat of the Mages Guild. I apologize for my tone. This has been a trying time. The Sapiarchs consider this matter closed, you know. What are you doing exactly? Who sent you? Our interests may align. Vivine, look, I've uncovered something odd as well. The Sapiarchs have made it very difficult for me to intervene directly. Perhaps you can help. Emil met a shady merchant named Galador prior to the murder. That's very out of character for him. That's what I came here to find out. But it seems Emil doesn't want to talk. Galador has deep connections to Lillandril smugglers and thieves. If you learn what Emil purchased from Galador, we might gain some insight into Halidon's murder. Galador stores his business ledger in one of the inn's larger suites. Unfortunately, he placed a hex on the book, making it impossible to read without a passphrase. If you discover the passphrase, you should be able to learn what Emil purchased. My contacts tell me that Galador left the city on business. Goodness knows what time. No one will accost you while you investigate. Just be careful. It cannot become known the Mages Guild is investigating this matter after the Sapiarchs forbid it. She is tenacious. She often volunteers to help others. You won't find a more zealous advocate for the Mages Guild's goals and mission. In truth, I've never had a greater pupil, aside from Emil, of course. In my experience, people use talent as an excuse for idleness and lack of effort. Emil and Vivine both enjoy great natural ability, but Emil's focus on restoration magic indicates purer motives. He also works harder than anyone I know. Truthfully, I'd love to, but as a diplomat, I don't have that luxury. The Sapiarchs consider the matter settled, and officially, our Mages Guild has accepted their ruling. I have a duty to preserve our relations with the Sapiarchs. It has exacerbated tensions that already exist. The Sapiarchs see this murder as evidence of our negligence. Members of the Guild resent it, so we're caught in something of a downward spiral. Yes, the guard who found Emile, Milleron, the Sapiarchs classified him as a Ryazen, a critical witness. Anyone with close ties to Emile is forbidden to speak with him, but not you. I'll find out where they've hidden Milleron. You look into Galador.
Life in Lillandril has always revolved around the Sapiarchs. Or it did until the Mages Guild came to town.
I know some of us here in Somerset have been true denets about this open border situation, but just know that we don't all feel that way. For me, you're all most welcomed.
White swan feathers flutter from her ivory bridal gown, an unsung vow slipped from her lips, eager to be found. Star-eyed bride of Alan, gone beneath the waves. My star-eyed bride of Alenor, the sea became her grave. Star-eyed bride of Alan, she never made it home. My star-eyed bride of Alenor, drowned in brine and foam. Lightning crashed upon the sea, wind howled with the swells. I strained to reach her glistening hand, but into the depths she fell. On the beach I wander still, gaze out at the sea, hope to see her shining face, smiling back at me. My star-eyed bride of Alan, whose last words were my name. My star-eyed bride of Alenor, I still weep from the shame. My star-eyed bride of Alan, lost in storm and spray, the star-eyed bride of Alenor, the cruel fate took away. The cruel fate took away.
Over here. I trust you were successful. My own inquiries were fruitful. I've learned where we must go next in this investigation. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Did you manage to break Galador's wards? What did you find? Honestly, what would Emil want with sheep's blood? And syringes? I'd suspect blood magic or chemical addiction if I didn't know Emil. Neither of those items are illegal. He must have bought them from Galador to keep the purchase a secret. I'll try to figure out what Emil wanted with these items. Meanwhile, I found the guard who arrested Emil, Millerant. I'm forbidden to speak to him, but you are not. The Sapiarchs moved Millerant to Lillandril's docks. Find out what he knows. What is it?
Welcome to Lillandril. Just off the boat. Lots of sailors coming and going. Just don't forget to submit your shipping manifests to the harbour master. Unless there's something else you need. Sad business, that. I was at my post when I saw Emil with a body slung over his shoulder. Once he reached the gate, he slid Haladan's corpse onto the ground and collapsed. He just knelt there sobbing, saying, "I killed him over and over." He didn't seem mad, if that's what you're asking, but he wasn't lucid either. When it comes to murderers, I've met more than my fair share, so you can trust me when I say Emil's no murderer. He might have killed Haladan, but it wasn't on purpose. Look, you need to promise me you'll keep this to yourself. Saltbreeze Cave is just south of here. Well-worn entrance, wizard's tools scattered about. I tried to tell the Sapiarchs about it, but your answers are in that cave. Guaranteed. This business with Emil was just too odd. Once the Sapiarchs convicted him, I had to find the truth of it. I took my coursing hound, Othelus, down to the gate and had him follow Haladan's blood trail. It led right to the mouth of that cave. No, Saltbreeze has a sour reputation. It used to be a popular haunt for the city youth to drink, sing, fornicate, that sort of thing. Then we lost a pair of lovebirds in a salamander attack. It's been abandoned ever since. At least we thought so. Of course they did. They'd already declared Emil guilty of the murder. Can't lose face over something like this. You got a confession, Millerant, just let it go. Humph. They're just anxious to be done with this whole affair. That's the other thing. Haladan looked like he'd been thrown off a cliff. Legs broken, blood leaking out of his ears, collapsed ribcage. You tell me how a wiry Breton could do that to someone. Doesn't make a whit of sense. Unless he can conjure up a stone club the size of an ox yoke, I just can't imagine it. I'll tell you to examine the body yourself, but the Sapiarchs already burned it. Convenient.
Who's there? Please don't hurt me. I mean you no harm. Emil? Is that you? Where is Haladan? Is he all right? Auriel, forgive me. Please listen carefully. Emil did not murder Haladan. I swear it. The two of them only sought to help me. I suffered from a mysterious affliction. Haladan and Emil infected me with vampirism to halt the disease's progress. Gods, no! I came here with my companion Gerwadel. By the time we arrived, her illness was terminal. Emil tried to administer the cure to her too, but she broke free and attacked Haladan. There was so much shouting. I thought maybe they escaped. Stone abominations. Vampiric alchemy. If the Sapiarchs found out that Haladan had a hand in this tragedy, they would strike his name from the histories. Emil would never let that happen. Read Haladan's notes, you'll see the truth of it. Absolutely. Haladan and Emil loved each other deeply. It was obvious from the moment I arrived. Emil would never let something he did jeopardize Haladan's reputation. Were their roles reversed, Haladan would do the same thing. Guaranteed. I don't think you understand the Sapiarchs. It wouldn't be a simple matter of not praying over Haladan's grave. They would expunge his memory entirely. Every discovery he made, every scholarly paper, everything. It would be like he never existed. Undoubtedly. The Sapiarchs would probably dispatch a few vampire hunters to find me. But don't worry about that. I'll find a way to take care of myself. I believe so. The fog is gone. The flop sweats in sleepless nights with dreams of blood and stone. But the cost was high. Too high. Poor Haladan. And now there's the hunger. Yes, I can feel it creeping up the back of my throat. That thirst. It was just a tickle at first. Now, who knows how far it will go? Emil brewed this form of the virus alchemically. Maybe this will pass and I won't need to feed it all. I can hope. Never. Enough people have suffered on my account. Anyway, how would I find them? The shale skin disease claimed my sight before Emil had the chance to administer the treatment. I will find a way to survive without harming others. You have my word. My new condition does have a few benefits. My senses are keener now than they've ever been. I can hear the flutter of a moth's wings and smell lichens in the next room. It's enough. It will have to be enough. They called it osteochondritic fever, a rare virus that hardens the skin like stone and oyster shell. And as if that weren't bad enough, it also drives you insane. Gerwadel had already succumbed to the madness when she attacked Haladan. We were part of a merchant fleet that got blown off course, wound up beached on an island full of slowed mischief. Something in the air there, or perhaps the water. All of us were infected. So far as I know, I'm the only one that survived. Truthfully, because he was the kindest, most generous mayor I've ever known. We were childhood friends, you see. When I wrote to him about my condition, he didn't even hesitate. He just bid me come to Lillandril, no questions asked. Hurry to Lillandril, prove Emil's innocence. I'll find my way. Somehow.
You again? I told you, I don't want to talk about this. I'm guilty. What? No. No, you're mistaken. No. You can't believe her. She's lying. I attacked Haladon. I killed him. You're making this up. No one will believe it. No. Please, you must burn those notes. If the Sapiarchs learn what Haladon and I did, he'll be ruined. Disgraced. All his work will be for nothing. And Norasea. Mara, save me. Poor Norasea. They'll kill her. Please, you must keep this a secret.
By Magnus, if what you say is true, Emil's innocent. You seem hesitant. Don't get bogged down in the details of his experiments. The important thing is that he didn't murder Haladon. You have to take this to the Sapiarchs. She's a vampire. I grew up in Shornhelm, and I know how dangerous they are. They drink people's blood for Mara's sake. Look, I pity Norasea, but we can't destroy Emil's life over one bad decision. Setting a vampire free is reckless. You know that. Haladon's dead, and if he truly loved Emil, he would gladly suffer humiliation to keep his beloved out of prison. You know that. As for the Guild endures. We'll be fine.
Poor Emil. He meant well. But these are shocking revelations. I never thought he'd be so reckless. Creating a potion to deliberately infect someone with vampirism? By the eight. If this gets out, the Sapiarchs may never trust us again. I care for Emil, but I have a whole guild to consider. We've brought many outsiders to Somerset, and our relations here are tenuous at best. Even if Emil didn't murder Haladon, creating a potion this hazardous is still grounds for exile. I spoke to Sapiarch Saratarel. If Emil makes a full confession, the Sapiarchs will let us handle the details of his imprisonment. I've arranged for Emil to return to Stormhaven, A familiar setting, sympathetic guards. It's the best I can do. No, but then there are many forms of freedom. Wouldn't you agree? Emile will have access to our vast library and ample opportunity to write and publish. He can still play a vital role in the advancement of the arcane arts. You have my word.
There's nothing to consider. Even if I didn't kill Haladon, the vampirism was my idea. He never would have agreed to it if I hadn't pushed him. Haladon meant more to me than you'll ever know. His memory is all I have left. Don't ruin it. Please. Oh, Mara bless you. Losing Haladon was awful. I still see his bloody face with my waking eyes. The only thing keeping me sane is the knowledge that I might spare his reputation and the friend he dearly loved. Thank
You have new evidence to present? Very well. I trust your investigation was thorough and unbiased? Or rather, as thorough and unbiased as an itinerant newcomer can manage. What new evidence do you wish to enter into the official record? Well, that is a surprise. As farcical as your investigation might have been, I appreciate your willingness to side with the facts. It does much to restore my opinion of the Mages Guild in Lillandril. I've already spoken with the guild diplomat, Kalawende. We resolved to send Emile back to Stormhaven. Leaving a Breton to rattle around in a high elf prison would reflect poorly on all of us. Better to imprison him among his own kind. Mercifully, yes. The Mages Guild promised to imprison Emile for the rest of his brief Breton life. I have no reason to doubt their sincerity, given your honesty today. Let us put this matter behind us. The Guild and the Sapiarchs must move forward. Now, I see no reason to delay Emile's exile. I will formalize his conviction today, have him turned over to the Mages Guild shortly thereafter. This sordid affair has caused enough pain. I'll not draw it out. Your honesty and Kalawende's willingness to accede to our demands give me hope for the future. The Mages Guild suffers from all the vices of youth, but perhaps, with our help, it can grow into an organization worthy of its proud high elf heritage.